Good evening and welcome to FRC Media News for Thursday, April 18th, 2019. I'm Donna Mata. Fall River's Board of Elections office has purchased new voting poll stations recently. Stop and Shop workers in the city and elsewhere continue to strike, and it appears the mystical creature Bigfoot is underfoot at the Fall River Public Library this weekend. We'll have these stories and more coming up. But first, let's check in with the Fall River Herald News and a brand new employee with a brand new title we have and are introducing Mr. Phil Devitt. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's good to be with you.
Yes, and not only welcome to our station and the collaboration we have with the Fall River Herald News, but first of all, why don't you just introduce yourself to our audience? You have a brand new title.
I do. I am the digital city editor here at the Herald News.
And you took over for Will Richmond.
I took over for Will, who's a familiar face to everybody out there. And Lynn Sullivan, my boss, the editor-in-chief, has been doing a good job the last few weeks doing this, and I'm excited to jump in. I like to think I'm a new old face in Fall River. I was born here. I ran a newspaper called the Fall River Spirit here for about 5 years. And for the last few years, I've been working in some other communities, but I'm so happy to be back in Fall River. There is never a dull moment here.
Yes,
I know.
Yes, I know you reside in the city, and you're obviously up to date on the politics and what's going on. What's your favorite part of the job at the Herald, even though it's only been, what, a week?
It's been about 2 weeks now, but sometimes it feels like it's been a week, sometimes it feels like it's been 10 years. But that's in the best sense possible. I like that it just doesn't stop. The minute you walk in the door here to the minute you walk out, you are busy doing something, making some important decisions about what gets covered, what doesn't get covered, and how can we best communicate this story to our audience. So there's always something to do. There's no time to play solitaire on the computer here. You are constantly immersed in the work, and that's what I love.
Same here at FRC Community Media. And speaking about not being able to stop, the workers at Stop and Shop in the city and elsewhere are on strike. They've been on strike for several days, and I know that the Herald has been covering that story. Can you give us the update as it stands today, Thursday, April 18th?
Absolutely. So this has been a really compelling and fast-moving story. At the beginning of the week, we received an email from Representative Joe Kennedy's office. And, this is sort of common in newsrooms. You receive an email, very brief, with a schedule for the representative for that day. And on Monday, it said that Representative Kennedy was going to stop by the Mariano Bishop Boulevard Stop and Shop, just to sort of meet with the people on strike, that sort of thing. So we thought that was worthy enough of some coverage, and we sent our reporter Peter Kaczynski out there. And he quickly found that this was a bigger story than we had even imagined. What was a strike turned into a really passionate rally with Representative Kennedy at the forefront, along with Representative Bill Keating and Senator Paul Feeney of the 1st Bristol District. So Kennedy was really, taking the lead on this, basically telling everybody there with the signs that, this fight that you're fighting is being played out across the United States, not just here in this community, and we're here to fight with you. So things definitely took on a different tone than we've been used to seeing the last few days, with some really strong support from the government, or at least from our local elected officials. And so as far as we know, people are still out there. The strike continues. Negotiations are still not at a place where both parties are satisfied. And, we're sort of looking beyond Stop and Shop as well, because this story has quite the ripple effect. It's affecting other supermarkets. Not only is business being funneled into the other big chains, but into the mom and pop stores that has been around in our community for a very long time. Our front page today, trying to remember what day it is, has a story about how Eau Claire's Market in Somerset is doing, and a market just over the Fall River line in Tiverton. These family-run markets say that business is booming for them in a way that they haven't seen in some time. And while they're sympathetic to the plight of the Stop and Shop employees, they hope that this will mean some return customers for them, some new customers. So there's a lot at play here that we're watching, and we're not done covering it yet. We're constantly finding some new angles.
And I also understand that a federal negotiator is involved and that management was not obviously happy with what happened in terms of the strike because the federal mediator, I should say, trying to mediate the terms because they're looking for no increase in health benefits and what else?
Well, health benefits, also, wage increases. People who have been, working at Stop and Shop, some of them for 20, 30, 40-year employees we're talking to who are worried about, the money that they're gonna have for retirement. So I think people from all walks of life work at this supermarket. From teenagers in summer jobs to people raising families, people who have raised families and now have grandchildren and are trying to, look forward to another part of life. So yeah, there's some dissatisfaction with the statements that are coming out of Stop and Shop, which also released a note to customers the other day, basically apologizing for everything that's happening, and hoping that they're going to be able to resolve this to get back to business soon. But this is a complex issue. It's going to be a little. I think it's going to be a little while before we see a total resolution here. Everybody happy.
Yes, it does. It definitely does appear that way. And my coworker and I, Michelle Dumas, we cover stories in the city, as you will come to find out as you partake in our show. We did go by a Stop and Shop, and they were peaceful. The strikers were peaceful. They were obviously waving, while cars honked horns and that sort of thing. So it's been peaceful, for lack of a better word. Moving on to other stories. This one's been in the news for quite some time, way before you were here. Superintendent Director Tom Aubin over at Diamond Vocational Regional Technical High School has officially, quote unquote, resigned. Can you give us the details, please?
Yes, so it was just the other day that Mr. Aubin put out a statement saying that he had resigned from his role as Superintendent Director of Diamond. It was effective last Friday, I believe. But that was one day after the school committee offered him quote-unquote separation agreement and appointed Principal Elvio Ferreira as the interim superintendent. This, as you mentioned, has been an ongoing back and forth between Aubin and the school committee. A lot of passionate voices coming to the forefront on this one. You might remember a groundswell of support for Aubin, both at the school committee meetings, showing up to the school and on social media. Obviously, from all indications we get from the school community, a well-liked leader, and somebody who, even I remember covering Diamond a few years ago. I remember Thomas Aubin being a really, ardent supporter and proud part of the Diamond community. I think this was somebody who very much enjoyed what he was doing, loved his job. Obviously, there were other feelings there on the part of school leadership. Tom told us in a statement that Diamond played a very significant role in his life, both personally and professionally over the years. He graduated from the school in 1976 and went on to work as a history teacher there, an athletics coach and administrator. He was appointed superintendent director in 2016 upon the departure of Marta Montleon, I believe. And some of this is me going on memory from my old Fall River days. And despite the differences that he obviously had with several members of the school committee, he tells us that he's, quote, incredibly proud of the work he did and, quote unquote, immensely grateful for the experiences he had while at Diamond. So it's a new day for Diamond, starting now, moving in a new direction. And I can tell you that we here at the Herald will definitely be in touch with Mr. Ferreira to get a sense of what direction he hopes to take the school officially in a leadership position.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that. And there's a article in today's paper about panhandling. Can you give us the details on that one too? Yeah, that's interesting. I saw part of that article I read.
It is interesting, and it's interesting not just on a local Fall River level, but across the state and, maybe even across the country eventually. The American Civil Liberties Union has sued Fall River, among other communities in Massachusetts, basically alleging that the police department is aggressively, to use their word, enforcing a state law to crack down on panhandling. Well, the news today is that a Superior Court judge this week has ruled that that enforcement is likely unconstitutional, and the judge has ordered the department to suspend its enforcement of that law, at least until this lawsuit is resolved. Basically, there's a 9-page opinion granting the ACLU's request for a preliminary injunction. Basically, the judge is ordering that, is saying that suspending enforcement of this law is in the public's best interest, in part because doing so protects the constitutionally guaranteed right to free speech, we wrote. And he also called the city's concern that suspending enforcement would have an unsafe and unsound result of giving panhandlers the green light to stop or accost vehicles unpersuasive and exaggerated. Basically, the city was saying, they're out there in the street, they're walking out into traffic, they're knocking on car windows. This isn't safe, and it's not safe to them. It's not safe to anybody. The judge is basically saying that argument is not very persuasive at the moment. Another interesting tidbit we found from this is that, at least according to an affidavit filed by the police department, an average of 6 to 8 people are panhandling in Fall River on any given day. It could be less than that, it could be more, but this is what the police department has found. And that's a number that this Superior Court judge said is minimal. So you have the city on the one hand, saying this is a big concern for us. We're worried about the safety of people, and there's a state law in place. We're going to enforce it. You have now a judge, in a way, siding with the ACLU, saying, well, not so fast. There's some, constitutional pieces of this that we really need to analyze before we put anything in place.
And there will be some analysis, yes.
There will be some analysis, and of course the Bristol County District Attorney's Office was a little bit ahead of the curve on this. We reported last week that District Attorney Tom Quinn said that his office would not prosecute anybody charged under that state law until the resolution of this lawsuit. So now you have the police department ordered to sort of stand back as well.
Very good. We'll see what unrolls there. Now, what's coming up this weekend? It's Easter weekend. What's coming up in the news?
It's Easter, so it's a happy time. It's a joyous time. We've actually, got Easter in mind. We have what I would consider a really cute story about new life in the paper this weekend by one of our fantastic feature writers and writers in general, Deborah Allard, about a Fall River woman who we're dubbing the Chicken Lady. Oh. And I know that's kind of a weird tease, but we'll go with that.
No, it's not weird at all. We will just go with it. I think it's a perfect tease. Thank you so much, Phil. And thank you so much for joining us on this week's show. And next week, you'll have the pleasure of speaking with Keith Tebow, who's the Director of Television Services. Did I actually say in the middle of that? He is my boss. At any rate, you have a great weekend and enjoy the holiday, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Phil. We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the MassHire Fall River Career Center. Insurance Program Supervisor. Stewart Healthcare, located at 1030 President Avenue, is in need of a full-time insurance program supervisor to oversee and supervise all aspects of the insurance program and is responsible for the daily oversight and reconciliation of all self-pay patients. Job number 119-74726. Talent Supply Chain Engagement Senior Coordinator. Amazon, located at 1180 Innovation Way, is looking for a full-time Talent Supply Chain Engagement Senior Coordinator to help support project initiatives, daily assignments, and general task completion. Job number 119-73063. Dog Walker. Furry Fellas is looking for a part-time dog walker to visit clients' homes in the Fall River area, caring for their dogs while they are at work or on vacation. Job number 119-67689. South Coast Health, located at 363 Highland Avenue, is looking to fulfill the following full and part-time positions. Food Service Director, job number 119-75722. Surgical Technologist, job number 119-75812. Stepping Stone, located at 542 North Main Street, is also looking to fulfill the following full and part-time positions. Care Coordinator, job number 119-61458. Case Manager, job number 119-61443. For more information on these or other positions, visit masshired.jobquest.detma.org or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. During the City of Fall River's next election coming up this fall, new voting poll booths will be set up at the city's precincts. Here's Board of Election Chairperson Kelly Susie Young with the details.
The new voting booths are actually red, white, and blue. They have one handicap accessible thing. It's a 4-part booth. It's one booth with 4 booths within one booth, and it's like a circle. And it's so much easier for the voter to just go right up and vote as opposed to having those old ones that were so antiquated. We are expecting our voting machines in probably end of May, beginning of June. We will have those in as well. It'll be ready for the next election. We will have training of our poll workers. I think it's June. I'm waiting for the company because they do all the training for us. We got 73 4 booths, so there's 4 straight booths, and then there's 29 of them that have a handicap because we have to have one handicap accessible for each polling place. There's 29 polling places.
Fall River's water treatment facility is constantly working to clean the city's drinking water supply. At a recent talk here at Bristol Community College, Professor Robert Rack offered insight into the mystery of water decontamination for the layman audience.
I don't think a lot of people understand how you get your water, and also how we treat the water before it goes back into the environment. Because, you know, we talk about we turn on our faucet and water comes out. Well, where does that come from? When we flush our toilets, it disappears. Where does it go? You know, so one of the things that's been happening a lot is that it's been out of sight, out of mind. And so people haven't, you know, the pipes are under the ground and all this, and we think, well, it's, you know, it's worked, all these systems have worked for the last 50 years. Why shouldn't they work for another 50 years? And so it's important that we understand, because as we're voters and we have to go out and we have to fund these facilities that we understand about the water system that we have. We try to manage things on what's called a watershed basis. And if we look at all these areas, the different colors represent different watersheds. And generally a watershed is an area where it's defined by the topology or the hilliness of an area, and it creates like a bowl type thing that all the waters in the area. This is actually the Taunton River watershed right here. So all the waters in that area will actually drain out the Taunton River and come down here and empty out we can see this would be Narragansett Bay down here, and it comes out here. So one of the things that we have to be aware when we're managing this area is any pollution that's in those areas could eventually be moving towards one site, and so coming down the Taunton River. And this is important because a lot of places, get their, in this particular, but in other areas as well, get their water supply from the river. So if I'm drawing from down here, which some of the areas are drawing from the Dighton area, where it's drawing, pollution that could be in this area here can make its way down into those areas in the river. So we have to manage the area as a watershed and protect it so that the waters that are going to be used for our drinking water supply are cleaner, because the cleaner the water is to start with, the easier it is to treat that water.
And there you have it. We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have Princess. Princess is a 9-year-old Staffordshire Terrier. Wait, Princess may be old, but don't let that fool you. She is completely full of spunk. I'm Princess. Princess loves going for walks. When she starts walking, she does not want to come back inside. It's one of her favorite things to do. Princess is the type of dog that wants to be the only dog. She would definitely do best in a one-dog household. She is very spoiled, so she likes to have all that attention drawn to her and nobody else. If you're looking for a dog that would be great with kids and fun to take on family outings, great hiking partner, this is her. Come on down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Mass, and meet this crazy ball of energy.
Hi, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have Florence. Florence is a 3-year-old calico, medium hair. You can tell she's a little bit on the shy side. She does take a little bit of coping with new situations, that sort of thing. So she's under this chair here as sort of a comfort zone sort of thing. Once she gets used to an environment, though, like where we normally have her, she's actually quite sociable. She comes right up to the front of her cage. She says hello and lots of head booping, all that kind of stuff. She can be very, very loving, but she might take a little bit to acclimate to a home at first. But yeah, if you'd like to meet Florence, you can come down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts, at Forever Paws Animal Shelter.
Welcome back. Well, it appears that the mystical creature Bigfoot is making an appearance this weekend at the Fall River Public Library. Area youngsters are welcome to visit the library on 104 North Main Street. That's right, 104 North Main Street, to see if they can spot the furry creature. Here's why. Children of all ages could sign up for the scavenger hunt, which involves what, Dave?
Well, the scavenger hunt is very exciting. It will be involving children and their families to look for certain clues of Bigfoot hidden throughout the library and the library grounds. Things like Bigfoot's hair, Bigfoot's secret lair, Bigfoot's lunch, and of course, Bigfoot's footprint. Now, this casting I took personally myself from the library's front lawn, an authentic Bigfoot footprint.
Do you think that's real?
Well, I've never seen Bigfoot,
That's it for this edition of FRC Media News. You can catch FRC Media News Thursday and Friday at 6 p.m., but our online news site is available 24/7 at frcmedianews.org. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Donna Mata. Have a great Easter holiday, a great week, and we'll see you next Thursday.